Hello everybody, this is Joe being videos on the Jimmy Master Animatronics, and this is actually going to be a double review of the floating black Dawn of the Dead and the clear dropping skull head. Reason that being is I got them both the same day at Michael's in 2008, and there is a backstory to that. So I was at Chuck E. Cheese, and I said the exact same thing in my documentary too, but not everyone I'm sure is gonna watch it, but I was at Chuck E. Cheese for 5-6 hours that day. My parents dropped me off there because I couldn't get enough of the three-stage band. So they dropped me off. They kept Grandpa there so that he could watch us, and they did shopping. And my dad came back and said, "Hey, Michael's has a lot of cool Halloween stuff. Like they have like a floating Dawn of the Dead. You don't have this one. Like this one's all different." At the time, I only had the purple Dawn of the Dead, so I was like, "I want to see it." And they said, "Yeah, I can take you to look at their stuff." And first of all, we went to Toys R Us, and I bought the Wowie Tribot, and that was $100. I was very After my dad took me to Michael's, he showed me around, and then he showed me the Dawn of the Dead. I was like, oh my God, I want this. He said, "Jordan, we're only looking." And I said, I ended up crying because the stuff was so much cooler than the Tribot, like this Halloween stuff, and it was just awesome. So I took the Tribot back and got my money back so I could buy some Halloween stuff. My grandma was actually sick. She was throwing up that day. And my mom, they didn't want to take me back to Michael's, but my grandma insisted, and my mom was pretty mad at the time that we were going back, and she said in the car, and she said, "You're not spending one more penny over than what you have," because she was just mad that day, and because I had Grandma Reed take me back to Michael's so that I could buy the stuff. At first, we took back the Tribot. I got my money back, went to Michael's. My grandma went to the bathroom. She was throwing up, and I was looking around of what to buy. And of course, she was first on my list, and I knew exactly that I wanted that too. The other two things, I got four things. $100 got me four things. Her, him, the candy bowl with the hand that comes out of it, and those ghosts. I have a video on my old channel. They spin around. They're kind of big, and they ended up snapping because they took up too much space. They were always in the way. I was always tripping on them. Eventually, the sticks just snapped, and there goes that. But I can't tell you how happy I am with the decision that I made. I mean, Wowie Tribot is so common. You type it in on eBay, you'll find 10 or 20 that are listed. Because if I wouldn't have gotten and Michael's is in Fargo. We didn't have a Michael's here in Bismarck. That's 3 hours away. If I wouldn't have bought these, I would have never had them. Never. So I am so happy with the decision that I made. And it's old. The hair is kind of bad, and it's got a crack in her ear. But you know what? It's actually still in decent condition for her old age. It's missing the button. Now to the actual review part, because that was the story, okay? See these little black things that drop down? I don't know exactly what a person would call these. But, this is something that's different with mine compared to what it's supposed to be. It's actually supposed to be like that all the way along. Now, I have never cut it. This is how it's always been. I've seen people have a video of other people's, and even the box shows that it's all the way along. This one never has been. And this is the first kind I got with the two lights on it. I had never, so when I got it, I tried resetting it. The one hand wouldn't go to the top. I was so used to the old models, I didn't notice that there was a rail on the inside that controlled, and if you go to my part 3 in the documentary, I take both sides open and show you the insides of what they look like. Someone on the Jimmy Wiki said that you have to open up the poles to even out the hands. You do not have to do that. Let's say, for example, this hand wasn't at the top and this was. All you have to do is detach the hand that is at the top and then hit the reset button, hold it down until it's up, reconnect it, and they'll both be at the top. It took me a while to figure that out because right away I thought it was broken, so I took the hand part, and since it's such a different design, I didn't know what to do. So I had to call my dad down. He eventually got it back, but one hand was down here, which I think it was that hand, and that hand was all the way at the top, so I thought that she was just supposed to float with one hand up and one hand down. Well, later that idea popped into my head, and it worked. So, now this hand has short string in it, and it has to, otherwise the hands won't go to the top. So the hand will go up when the other continues to go down, which means, yes, the string will break in it. It has every time, and the string in the head and the hand hasn't broke in years, so it doesn't have much longer till the string snaps again. The speaker is right here, the motion sensor is here, the switch is on the top right there, and then note, she has lawn string. This is one of them that if the string snaps, you can't give her really long string, because look, her head does go up with her hands as well, and if you give her longer string, it's going to be down to here, and basically, yeah, you see what I mean. This doesn't go all the way to the top. The string is lawn, and you can retract it, but it's going to go back here. It's not going to stay at the top. So yeah, I just had to point that out. And here's her blue LED eyes, which I think that's pretty cool. And this was only sold at Michael's in 2008. That's it. She was very limited. And I'm trying to show her with the lights off. She's not as creepy. Well, depends how you look at it. But it looks better in the dark with all the lights on, since she doesn't have lights on the side. If she doesn't have her lights on, she really doesn't appear in the dark if you don't have batteries in her eyes. Okay, now I'm going to turn it on and show it to you. It's gonna snap very soon, I just know it. And the belt is getting bad. See how her head dropped down? Yeah, I don't think the belt has ever been replaced on this thing, so that is pretty old. Okay, we'll show it again. And I think the wire's off the sound sensor on it. Yeah, it is. So one of the times when I was replacing the string, the wire had come off. So right now she's only motion censored. Like I said, if the string is any longer than this, it won't go to the top. So it has to be that short on one side of the hands. So, yeah. It's a shame. Like, if it was like the 4 light version, the string is moved directly from the mechanism. Whereas on this one, it's controlled by a rail, which makes it slower. And then the hand is heavy itself, which makes it even slower. So, yeah. Anyways, now on to the dropping head. This one has broken before. This is not the original ring. This has snapped twice, and it was hanging from the ceiling. His jaw broke off before. And his mouth barely moves because the spring in the mouth was broken, so I have a rubber band holding it back, so, it retracts. But it barely moves. That one's the same way. That one was broken right from the factory. That one was a factory defect. One side of the jaw wasn't even put on. And I'm going to be showing this one too. This one's rubber belt is bad. See how it's all the way down? Now, it's the same thing with the dropping heads. When they start moving upwards, when the motor hasn't changed direction yet, that'll cause them to snap too. I don't plan on using it a lot though, and I kind of like the dropping effect after it turns off. So anyways, this one never, the string never officially snapped. It came disconnected. And it kind of scares me that it's going to happen again because, I don't know, there's not very much string tied around there. So it kind of worries me. I'm never going to use this scene when it's not close to the floor, because if that ever happens again, this job will be done. With the next time this falls and snaps, it's done. This one is just hot glued back on because this side of the jaw is still in place, but the other side is completely gone. So it has a green and blue LED that flash as it talks. Now, they did remake these. Walmart had this in 2000. It was 2009 or 10. And then they made the shitty model with just plastic teeth that are plain clear. Lucas used to have that. And the blue and green lights only come on when the jaw opens. So it was made very cheap. This model is much better. That one did come with its box, but I don't have it anymore, sadly. They have 3 sayings. See, that just scares me right there. See, that's when the activation is done, is when it drops down a bit. Did I turn it off? No. This one takes a while to start up again. And you can see the mechanism. See, it's moving in here just fine. It's just the fact that the jaw has been broken is why it's not moving much. The shaft is moving, but the jaw is not really moving with it. That's what the problem is. It just scares me, man. Anyways, so there's that one. This one's mouth moves much better. Also, when you have the try me button in place, it doesn't, see, it's turned on, but it won't activate unless you disconnect it, but I use it with the try me button, so here we go. Well, this one's low pitch. See how much better that mouth moves? You know, these were defective, you know. They put really bad rubber belts on them, so basically they did this even when they were brand new, basically. And the springs would always get worn out, so the mouth would never shut anyway, all the way anymore. Like my Pirate and Skull with Hair, after the first day of having it, the mouth didn't close all the way anymore because the springs just wore out so quickly. Same thing with that one, same thing with the Scary Skull head, yeah, all that, yeah. Also, I'm doing these in a different spot because I don't have work and my parents aren't home, so it's a perfect time to do reviews somewhere else. This one's lights don't seem as bright as the other one. Okay, now we're gonna show it with the... That one... Oh yeah, I turned her off, that's right. Looking out the window. Hey. I don't like when the head constantly spins though. It never stays looking in one direction. So yeah, that was the double review of the Gemmy Floating Black Cloth Donna Dead from Michael's 2008 and the dropping clear head also from Gemmy and Michael's 2008. So I hope you liked this video. Thank you for watching, and bye.